Well, I'm afraid it's out of the frying pan and into the fire for Mr. David Icke. Since I started investigating the ins and outs of his ex-wife, Pamela Leigh Richards, with this photo here of her making the Masonic 666 sign, if you recall my last video, I showed you this part here. This is the last video, and I showed you this part here with a quote from the top of Pamela Leigh Richards' website, "Come Fly With Me." Now, just let me play that bit to you, and then I'll explain to you why this is so serious. It says there, magic is the science and art of causing change to occur in conformity with will. Say no? Right, that quote is from Aleister Crowley, and that quote is on the top of Pamela Leigh Richards' website, which means that she is quoting Aleister Crowley, the infamous British Satanist. Now, does it get any worse? Yes, it most certainly does. If you go to the wiki, for instance, and just type in magic, okay, it will come up with this, and it will explain to you about Aleister Crowley's quote, so you can source that as being fact. Now, next we're going to a YouTube video here, which features Pamela Leigh Richards in it, and watch what she does in this, because it reflects directly on whether or not there's more talk about witchcraft in this, but it also reflects directly back onto David Icke. And also watch her hands. Here we go.
Hello, thanks for tuning in. I'm Jim Roger.
I'm Kyle Dayton.
I'm Edward G. Martin.
And you're watching The Cutting Edge, Revealing the Truth. Remember, this is a show where you don't just hear them, but you actually get to see and experience the guests. Well, tonight I think we're in for a very profoundly interesting show. We have with us Pamela Leigh Richards Icke, formerly known as Pamela Icke. Pamela is a bit of a dancer, a performer, an athlete, the daughter of an Air Force fighter pilot, and a world traveler, I might say.
This is what I want to touch with people as well. The most important thing, the journey that I'm on personally at this moment, is I want to let people know they're not alone, that the world is not what they think it is. And once you have the coordinates to understand this, you can remove yourself from the sea of confusion in this vast ocean that is, swirling all around. You've got politics and business and people telling you, yes, all the distractions.
Yeah, that's the way I see it too.
Yes,
Yeah.
and so what I've done is through everything that I've gone through, the death of my brother, experiencing that, I can relate to people because I've been there, done that. And
Watch the way that she moves her arms when she's talking. It's a mirror image of what David Icke does when he talks. Plus also the pentagrams that are all over the wall behind the other guests. But watch the way she moves her arms. Watch her fingers, and you'll see that she does the horns sign as well. But she moves exactly like David Icke. Watch.
And I empathize with them. One of the greatest comforts is knowing we're not alone. And and what I put out was...
Now that movement there of pointing to the forehead and upwards with a finger and outwards and stuff like that, David Icke does that. So either David Icke has been affected by her, or she has been affected by David Icke. But this could be termed as mirroring, where someone copies someone else, but it could also be more than that, because, as I said, it appears that Pamela Leigh Richards is heavily involved in magic. First of all, we've got that Aleister Crowley quote, but she says something else a little bit later on, but let's carry on.
Life, and whatever name you wish to give it, whatever, God, oneness, source, whatever. I call it life. And when you put this out, I put this out to life. I said, I want to know who I am.
Now that sign she keeps doing with her two fingers pointing upwards like that, that is actually on the angel statue on the top of Alexandra Palace, and it was also a sign that was used by the Nazis when they took an oath. Now, all of this stuff is related to Helios, who is also known as Apollyon, the beast from the pit from the book of Revelation.
People kind of... you know, it's multi-multa, non omni novit, and it means many men know many things, but no one knows everything.
True.
We are like ships in the sea. It's an ocean of confusion. And unless you've got coordinates, you will continue to be lost at sea, swimming in an ocean of confusion. Who are you going to vote for?
What you're going to believe.
Milk is good for you, milk is now bad for you. You know, it's constant.
Yes.
The world, the puppeteer showman, it's the mind that took on a mind of its own. It keeps us in constant confusion. Now there's two levels of this, maybe more of course, but I will keep it simple. One level is it keeps us in constant confusion because it itself it can't help itself. It just wants control.
Now you can see what she's doing here with her hand. Her two middle fingers are together and the two outer fingers are apart, which is like the Masonic M or Masonic Sigma, whatever it is. I personally now think it's an M, but let's carry on.
And this is where we are at, I feel. There is an existence behind the scenes, I feel, that is actually calling upon all of humanity for honor. They're looking for honor. They're going, okay, you're in the room, people. Okay. Are you going to buy the lie? I have no enemy. You bought the lie that there's an enemy. And so the experiences with the dolphins changed my life forever. I had telepathic communication with them. I had an experience.
Right, so she's had telepathic communication with her brother, who is now dead, unfortunately, and she's had telepathic communication with dolphins. The mind boggles. Let's carry on.
Experience with the oceanic white-tipped shark, because what I had done was I wiped my slate clean. I was so tired of all of the chatter in my mind, all of the distractions of the divisions of left and right. I thought, you know, my mind just went boom, and I went boom. That's where I'm going home. I'm tired of this. I cannot take this anymore. People talking about, it just did my head in. So I went, boom. And when I did this, I wiped my slate.
She went, boom.
I removed the balls and chains that bound my mind. And I just went direct. So the wave pattern, these waves, like you just mentioned, the waves are the waves of the interference pattern. And once it's observed, then you bring it. Nothing exists where your mind is not.
True.
So in other words, if your mind's not there, it doesn't exist. So okay, let me think. My mind is not in Australia, therefore Australia doesn't exist. What nonsense. Anyway, let's carry on going.
Okay. So we have the power to make a huge difference. We need to quit following the Pied Piper.